Good morning, students. So, after the first terminal examination, we are going to now begin with our second terminal syllabus. So, we shall begin with the poem Her Head, which is written by John Murray. So, you will see in the text it's given here. In the bottom, you will see on the right hand side, you can just read along with me. Who is John Murray? John Murray is an American poet, writer, playwright, and editor. She is best known for her narrative poems. This poem is a simple, straightforward series of facts and images which make up a stark, moving scene of courage in the face of hardship. Okay, so when there is so much of hardship, how people react to that. Basically, that poem is about that. How some of the people don't give up and they are willing to face any kind of situations which come their way. They are willing to do anything to overcome such troubles and adversities. The lone woman carrying a bucket of water on her head in the hot sun over a long distance is defying drought, famine, the cruelty of the political system, and much else in order to save some of her people from death. Notice how the words she carries water on her head, repeated every few lines, add emphasis and feeling to the main point of the theme, her head. Her head here, the topic of the poem is very important, the title of the poem, because you will see her head has been given too much of emphasis, too much of importance. How during these times also, the lady is not willing to give up. She walks a long distance to bring water on her head so that people can drink some water from the bucket which she has brought all the way on her head and their life can be saved. So you will see the main point is that how in such difficult times also some people really work hard enough to save people. So here you will see basically this is set in a place called near Ekurhuleni in Natal, South Africa. A woman carries water on her head. After a year of drought, when one child in three is at risk of death, she returns from a small distant well, carrying water on her head. So what happened? In this place, sometimes the whole of the year there was no rain, and that is why there was severe drought, dry. Everything became dry. There was shortage of water, shortage of food. When water is not there, how do we people survive? So here, and the situation becomes so bad that out of three children, one is sure to die. So the situation was like that in a certain place called Ekurhuleni in Natal, South Africa. Now you'll see here, she returns from a distant well carrying water on her head. During these times also, one particular lady in this poem is not willing to give up. She have walked a long distance to carry water on her head so that some people get to drink this water and they are saved. So the determination of the lady is shown in the poem. The pumpkins are gone. Why the pumpkins are gone? Because there is no water, and when there is no water in the fields, everything becomes dry. Nothing can survive without water. It's very difficult for the plants to survive without water. The tomatoes withered, even the tomato plants have dried up. Yet a woman carries water on her head. Yet the woman is not willing to give up. She is not willing to give up, and she has brought water all the way from very far. The cattle kraals are empty. The cattle kraals, when there is no food, what the cattle will eat. Cattle here refers to the sheep and the cows, goats, and all. Cattle kraals means shelter for the cattle. The goats gowned. Okay, no milk now for children. Okay, even the goats, they've become dry. Because they don't get any food to eat. That's why they don't produce milk also. Now the children don't get to drink milk as well. But she is carrying water on her. Despite all these conditions, the lady is not willing to give up. She has been constantly going and carrying water on her head and bringing it and feeding it to her villagers or the people in her area. The engineers have reversed the river. Those with power can keep the power, but one woman is carrying water on her head. The engineers are trying their best to bring back water, sources of waters, The powerful people are keeping power with them. So during these times are very difficult times for the poor people especially. These are the most affected people, I should say, in any country, in any circumstances. Still, the lady over here shows great determination. She goes on to bring water from this distant place. In the homelands where the dusty crowds watch the empty roads for water trucks, one woman trusts herself with treasure and carries water on her head. Okay, so in these dusty crowds, the people are there standing for water. They want water. Maybe they are in a hope that water trucks will come and give them water. Still, the lady is not waiting for the trucks. She is walking off to a distant place to bring water on the bucket on her head. The sun does not dissuade her, nor the dried earth that blows against her. The sun is scorching very hardly. It's so much sunshine outside. Still, it does not stop her from bringing water. Nor the dried earth. The earth has dried up, and you can see in the picture it is already cracking up. So much of dryness. And she carries the water on her head in a huge and dirty pail. And the bucket is so big, and it is very dirty also. But she is bringing water on the pail. Resting on a narrow can, this woman is carrying water on her head. Okay, so she is resting sometimes. Still, she is carrying water on her head. This woman who girds her neck with safety pins, this one who carries water on her head. So the particular lady over here is described. Who is the lady? The lady who ornaments her neck with safety pins. So you'll see the amount of poverty these people live in. They do not have a simple necklace to put on their neck. So that what she has made a necklace out of safety pins to decorate herself. So you can imagine how poor these people are. Who carries water on her head, trusts her own head to bring to her people what they need now. So why she is doing this? Because her people, the people in a village or in the particular area where she lives, are in need of water, and so she is doing her own little to save them. She is walking to far distant area to bring water and feed her people. Okay, so you're seeing how a very simple lady, a very poor lady who does not even have ornaments to put on her neck. That's why she made a necklace out of safety pins. What they need now, because this is not a time to quarrel, or this is not the time to think anything. Just now people are in need of food and water. These are the only, if people leave only, we can think of some other things. So the survival of people is very important at this time when small children are already dying in large numbers. If 3 children are there, one is sure to die. So situation is like that, but she does not want to give up. She wants that every person, if 1-2% also can be saved because of her work, then she would be very happy. So she is doing all this, overcoming all difficulties and problems that are coming on her way. What they need now, between life and death, what they need now is what? Life they need. Either you have to be saved in order to have life, or you can die. There are 2 things you can die in these times. And in order to live, you need water, you need food. If you don't consume all this, then it's sure that we will die. So here you will see how this lady has proved that during this difficult times also one can remain hopeful that better times will come. But how do we overcome these difficult times? By working hard, by not giving up, by remaining determined, by never losing hope. She is carrying them water on her head. So you'll see many times this sentence have been repeated, carrying water on her head. Why it is? Because you'll see the determination of the lady who is determined to do her little bit effort to save her people during these times. Okay, so this poem teaches us never to give up, to always have hope, and to work hard so that we can overcome each and every difficulties in our life. Thank you.